Hello and welcome back to Being Significant. I'm Rohit and I welcome you all to this 8th episode of Excel Learning series. In the previous episode, we talked about pivot operation, where if you want to understand the data in certain categories, that's something which we had used. In this one, like we will be talking about one functionality which Excel has of producing the visualization of certain kind. So again, like there are limitless possibilities depending on the data which you might have, and hence like we will not be able to cover everything. So what I'll do in this episode is I'll introduce you to the concept, and then you can keep on trying using your own data. Let's say this is the kind of data that I have. Uh, this is something which we have done previously worked upon, and this is the final table that I have. So let's say I want to plot a bar chart based on number of people who speak a particular mother tongue, who have a particular mother tongue in Karnataka state, and I'll plot it for, let's say, proportion of total population, what percentage of people have a certain kind of mother tongue. So to do this, what we'll do, so it's pretty much simple. My requirement is to plot a bar chart, so which will look like the mother tongue, and like what the length of bar will tell me, give me the idea about proportion of individuals or the in the population, like how many people have that particular mother tongue. So what I'll need to do is I'll have to select this particular data. So the two columns, the two which I'm talking about. So let's say I'll start with this one. So mother tongue is something which I want to select. So I'll do a control shift down arrow. So this will select this entire column for me. Then I'll come over here. I'll keep holding control again, and I'll just click on this particular column name, and then I can do a control shift down arrow. Please remember, so I'll again tell this to you. So first I selected this, then I left all the keys. I'm not holding anything anymore. Then I went over here. So before doing a left click on this using mouse, what I did, I kept holding the control button, clicked on this, and then using control shift down arrow, I selected this particular column. Now it's pretty simple for me. If here above you can see this particular tab which is called insert, if you will click on it, it will ask you to select one of the charts of the many possibilities which are here. So I need to go to this is my bar chart. If I'll click on this, and I'll select one of these. So this is my stack chart, which is not my requirement in this case. The first one is something which I'll be selecting. Stack chart is something when you want to combine two categories and see it in a certain way. And this is percentage stack chart, which will give you of overall, like if something you want to see as a total of 100 is something which you will be using this for. So for now, I'll be using this one alone. And so my chart is here. This is my bar chart, which is giving me the idea about, like, the height of the bar is giving me idea about what proportion of people speak a particular language. So let's say you also want to put the numbers up here, whichever is my proportion. So what I can do, I can click on this plus button, and I will choose data labels. So if I'll click on this, my numbers will start appearing. So as soon as I did this, you might observe that these numbers are pretty large and they are not fitting in. So what I can do, so because this is happening because I have so many decimal places right over here. So what I can do, I can just select my E column, and I'll go to home, and there's this button which will increase the number of decimal, and this will decrease my number of decimals. So if I'll keep pressing this one, so what I'll also, this is not happening because there are some other column values which are of character type. So this will only work with numbers. So what I'll do, I'll rather selecting it through by clicking on E, I will select my data from here and to the end, and now I can keep pressing this, decrease the number of decimal places. Let's say I'll keep it to one decimal place. Now it is much more legible for me to read. Okay, so this is giving me the percentage people who have certain mother tongue. So I'll move it down over here. So let's say this is one thing, like I've created a bar chart. Let's say I wanted to create a pie chart instead of the bar chart. So I'll again do the same thing. I'll select this, then I'll hold, like I'll leave all the buttons. I'll come over here, I'll press control, then click on this, and then again control shift down, and I'll go to insert. Instead of a bar chart this time, what I'll do, I'll put up a pie over here and select this first one. Okay, so now you will see it has created a pie chart for me, but as there are too many values, it will be very cluttered. It will be difficult for you to understand like what category is what. But again, like the same way I can do data labels over here, so it will tell me what proportion of people are speaking a particular language. With pie charts, you must understand one very important thing. It should add up to the total. All the individual categories should add up to the totals. Otherwise, your chart will actually be wrong. So in this case also, like it is not adding up to total. So there is a difference of 1.3%. So again, like, so this is actually a wrong interpretation and not the exact one. So there is one more category, let's call it others, and which is actually 1.3%. Okay, so now if I'll delete this, and now if I'll do this chart again by selecting the values, it will actually add up to 100% now, and I can put this by, yeah, and I can shift it over here, and I can add the data label. Okay, and now you can see this is something which is adding up to 100% now. Fine. So yeah, so just be a little careful when using pie. The lesser the number of categories, the better will be the visualization for you. Otherwise, it will be very cluttered. So there's something similar to pie chart, which is the tree chart. If I'll show you, so this is another form of tree map I can use. So instead of like showing the results in a pie manner, the same result will be interpreted based on the area. So again, if I'll select all of this and I'll go to this tree map, and if I'll click on it, so in a way, in this particular case, the area of the graph is giving me the idea about what proportion of people have that particular mother tongue in Karnataka. So right now, because the Kannada had the highest share, and hence the area of Kannada is also the highest. And so this is a tree map, is another way of visualizing the data, and which you can use instead of using a pie, and which at times becomes much more useful. Okay, so I have another type of data which is tracking my GDP growth since 2014, and it is flowing till 2023. So this particular data is a time series data where you can track particular variable, how is it changing over time. So any such change which if you're tracking over time becomes very useful by using a line chart as a visualization. Okay, so a line chart will help you visualize like how has the trends might have changed over the particular phase of the years. So for this, again, you will select this entire data, and you will go over here in the insert button, and then you'll click on this line chart. So all these charts will actually try to plot two lines for you, which is actually incorrect, because what we want directly is one single line which is tracking the value of GDP, and our x-axis should be the year number. So it is, we are starting from 2014 and we are going till 2023. So on the x-axis, that's what we want. So instead of clicking on any of these options, what we'll do, we'll go over here, which is something written as more line charts. So once you're here, there's a second chart which is being displayed. This is something which you'll select, and you'll click on OK, and this is something which is plotted for you. And if you want to add the data labels in the terms like in what year what is happening, and again it has like a lot of decimal places, like I've already told you, you can select these, and then you can decrease the number of decimals so that it's legible for you to understand and read. So this is the line chart, another type of graph for me, which is tracking since 2014 how my GDP growth rate has been changing over the years. Okay, so there was a dip in 2020, which was the COVID year. So the growth was actually negative in that year. So a line chart becomes a very good visualization in the terms when we want to see the data on the axis of time. Okay, so there are many other possibilities as well. There's histogram, there's scatter plot, which Excel allows you to plot and visualize. And so these were some of the examples. If you have any specific data set that you want me to look at, please share with me and I will try to help you answering those questions. All right, please practice this. And I've uploaded this, like always, I've uploaded this data as well as the PPT. You can see the link in the description. Also, I'll just tell you one more thing. I have these optional exercises. Please try to do them, and those are very useful and helpful in that will help you in strengthening your concepts. So please try those out. And if you have any questions or any doubts, please feel free to comment on the video. All right, see you in the next video. Thank you.